I think that's kind of fun to add little notes here and there. For example, just who's the A team? The A team are my friends from elementary school. We have a group message. Like, it just gives us a little, it gives us a little insight. Like, you just got engaged. You know, you might want to have like a little arrow to your fiance with a little ring. Just got engaged. Da, 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 da. It gives you little personal notes. Might be kind of fun to add in to this technical data. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So instead of using the text boxes to reiterate what we should already be able to conclude from the way that you're displaying the data, give us little personal insights that make that's information beyond what we're getting from the graph.
Okay.
But I think you have it all there. It's just a matter of moving it around a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't sure about all the text, so I think it'll be good to kind of take some of it out.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that you got texted the most from your mom and PC. But who is PC? Use the text to tell us, like, PC, that's my next door neighbor, or whoever it is. Give us a little bit of, it's kind of a fun little insider notes.
The thing that's a little bit confusing about this is, like, so PC, RE, RW, and then CM, CG, they're all part of the A team. My work group. So like they sent me messages within that message, but then down here it's like I sent messages to the whole group. So I wasn't sure how to like convey that I was texting those people, but not like directly to them.
Well, that's interesting. You know what, you could do it, treat it a lot of different ways, like the A team, and then you could make like, it could be like 3 colored dots above it that somehow associate with PC, the people that are in the A team. Or what if you, one known convention is like A team, when something is a subcategory of another one, you kind of indent it underneath it. So when you show that data, you might have A team, and then you might list the communications with the individuals from the A team. So we understand that PC and whoever are part of the A team. And you may give them similar color coding. So for example, maybe A team is dark green, but the members of the team are lighter shades of green, so that we make this color connection with it as well.
Okay.
Do you guys have any other comments?
Well, drawing as she was talking, and the way the data sets lay out, poster as I see it, it kind of begs for everything to be sorted down the middle, almost. It's like you could find like you have the dots on the top right and dots on the bottom left. You'll want to tell a story of what your data communication's doing, and the main focus to my eye is sent and received. But the whole story is on either side of that. And Julia's talking about known conventions. I don't know, Kate. I just drew a figure of somebody down the center, and then and then maybe, like, since she's talking about rearranging, then maybe telling the story of what you just talked about with the lines and down at the bottom. Because Julie just alluded that those 2 data sets, top left and bottom right, are telling a big chunk of your story. Okay, well, if that's the biggest part of your story, I don't see it, only because that big pie chart's in the way. So, I mean, I just divided it in half with you in the middle.
I think your tag cloud tells a lot of the story, like my digital communication and then the tag cloud. And then I would make the bar graph and this pie chart smaller, you know? So give us, weigh things in terms of priority. You know, like that, those charts are kind of like more detailed information, but this tag cloud really gives us a picture of kind of what your life is like right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna
Yeah, and
go.
I think that tag
Go
cloud
ahead.
is important.
That was a clever idea, Kate.
Mhm.
All right, cool.
Sure
I wasn't
was.
sure about it, but I do like it, so I'll keep it.
Yeah. I think it's a great first draft. You have until next Wednesday for edits, so take advantage of that time and make
Okay.
something that you feel really good about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna move over to Amber.
Okay, so I don't have too much to show. I went through some problems with my Illustrator. It was working at the beginning of the semester, and then it stopped working. So I pretty much had to wing it on InDesign, but I have it now. So when I school, just and use Illustrator. And I also messaged Sean to let him know what happened, because he actually set up the account with me. So it's really that InDesign is working and Photoshop and Illustrator is not under the.
Did you see did you see, I wrote you back about how to get Creative Cloud access?
Yeah, I already did that with Sean at the beginning of the semester for your class, because he helped me set up everything. So
Yeah, it's really strange, Julia. She has half the suite, and the other half says that her trial ended.
but it's all on the school's account, so it's really strange that it's like that. So I told Sean, so I'm gonna meet up with him and fix it again, like he helped me with Linda. So I don't know what's going on lately, but
That's weird. You
Yeah.
know, what
I saw it, though. It just clearly shows what she needs to, the tools she needs are expired trials. And
I have some students that were in my Intro to Interactive class, and apparently the students, okay, so I told them download the Creative Cloud, and some ones were not getting access to it. And you had to have your name and student number on a particular list to get access to it. And what they told me is like, oh, well, some people didn't get on the list properly. So it could be to get the free access to Creative Cloud, you may not be on that master list.
but it was working when because Sean and I installed it together, and at the beginning of your class when we had to use Illustrator, it was working fine. So it's really strange.
But I think you might have installed like a trial version of it. I don't think
Okay.
you might not have gotten the full Creative Cloud access.
Okay.
So if
Okay.
you just, let me make sure you're on that list, first of all. So
Okay.
give me your student, send me an email with your student ID and your major.
Okay.
And then I will send it to my contact here. She said, okay, just keep sending me these names of students with their IDs and their majors, and
Okay.
explain that they're taking a School of Communications class, and we'll make sure that they're on the specific list to allow you to have that free download. I think the version that you got you might have just been a 30-day trial.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I made a draft like the best that I could on design. It was really difficult, but it's very, very minimal. But I can explain what I plan to do on the. Should I do that?
Yeah, that's great. Go ahead and just pull up your work. Share the screen.
I'm still learning how to do this. Okay. Okay, so this is my draft. So 2-2 is 1 day. So I do 3 days, so 3 and 2, 4, and this shows like that Facebook would have been blue, and then green, and that out of all of the things that I did that day, I had World Classroom the most. And I have like I was talking to and then friends and then faculty made a trial learning, and then inside the box I communicated with them, and whether they were successful or not, I'm going to make them red or green. And what else to say? It's very, yeah, drafted.
Sorry, you're cutting out just a little bit, so we might have missed just a smidge of what you were saying. So the issue I see with your visualization so far, it gives us a sense of the proportion of how much you are communicating, but it doesn't give us a sense of the quantity, like how many actual communication moments there have been in that day. And I don't really understand why. Oh, okay. So these circles, graduation, travel, world, classroom, I guess the size of the circle has to do with the quantity.
Yeah, I'm gonna better next time. This is what I could from here.
Yeah. That's so. What I would suggest is thinking about using your colors very strategically, because I see how travel is in your first day. Travel is in this top pie piece, but in the next day, travel is in kind of a top left pie piece. So it's hard for me as a reader of this information to make this an association like, oh, travel is always in this position. I get how her travel communication has changed from this day to the next. Do you know what I mean? So what I would do is I would organize your pies so that travel always lined up with travel, and graduation always lined up with graduation. And World Classroom was big for you on the 2nd, but not necessarily on the 3rd. So it should line up with nothing on the next day. So we can make those visual comparisons between days. You see what I mean? So instead of clumping them, you might arrange them linearly, and then this day, this day, this day, so we can see how the communication changed.
Okay. And Thursday was a school day, and then, Friday was a school day, and then Saturday, Sunday were weekends, or?
Yeah, that would be useful information to add to your chart. It would help us understand why your communication quantity and topic, or what you were doing, changed.
Okay.
So think about like if you're going to title your visualization as being a hectic last semester, think about, you have a delicate line because you want to present information in an organized way so we can understand it. But at the same time, how are you going to visually communicate this hecticness? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
maybe I should use different words, yeah.
So, for example, if I were going to show something being hectic, like if I wanted to visually communicate hecticness with type, I might make the letters kind of different letters sort of slightly askew and one pulling away from another, and just to kind of communicate some randomness and spasticness. So so think about how you can help us look at this and say, oh my gosh, her life is crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Maybe that has to do with your background imagery,
Yeah, by next Tuesday, so that actually add like designs and stuff properly.
Yeah. It would actually be it would have been awesome if you would have maybe taken selfies of yourself during this 3-day period. And, these selfies could be like, along the bottom, time stamped 202, and then your facial expressions are like, tell us like, just this moment, all of these little moments in time could kind of communicate to us what you were going through. And that would be an interesting level of information to add to this. Do you know what I mean?
Sorry, you cut off halfway, so I only heard half.
For example,
can she establish visually on the proportion? She's kind of demonstrating proportions of what I did, versus another task. Can she demonstrate hecticness somehow with this layout?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Like it's a delicate line because the hecticness, you don't want to make a hectic visualization, then it makes it really hard to understand what she's trying to communicate. So how else could you imply the hecticness while not losing the communication value of what you're trying to say with your data? And there might be
can we put it on a thermometer?
Yeah, I don't know what you mean really, but
temperature rises, things get hot. I don't know, a scale, something to denote upwardness, like life gets more hectic as Amber does this. Right now, we're not linear though. We're comparing 3 different days based on different volumes of communication. We don't have much of an indication to show intent.
Right. Well, that's what I was trying to suggest. Keeping your data organized, but somehow have something in the background or the way that you're rendering your titles to show this kind of stress and hecticness. Like I suggested, if she had this series of selfies that she had taken over these 3-day periods and kind of like, you know, just kind of showing her facial expression in these moments, these different moments of time, might kind of help her communicate, oh my gosh, this was so crazy. This, you know, how are you going to visually communicate hecticness without making your data really confusing to understand?
Yeah.
That's the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so you need another element.
Well, she knows that. She just hasn't gotten that far with it. She has other elements, I think, but you know, she hasn't gotten them all out there.
Okay, well, I'm thinking about it. My mind's turning about it. I'll be thinking about it.
Yeah.
You know, Amber, if you need, once you get your software stuff resolved, or maybe you can work a little bit in the lab on campus so that you can have access to Illustrator. If you'd like to, you guys are always welcome to join the critique on Tuesday mornings. I know Brian's not available, but if you want some more feedback, jump in on Tuesday morning, which is your Tuesday afternoon, and we can give you another round of feedback before the due date on Wednesday.
So.
Okay. Sorry, you're cutting out a little bit, but you can also email me some drafts along the way.
Excuse me?
You can also email me too.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, I'll post the video and update all the grades and stuff. And I know, Amber, I owe you, I got to open up that quiz again because you had trouble with it. So I will do that right now while I'm thinking of it.
Oh, I already finished it.
Oh, you did?
I think,
okay.
I still up for some reason.
Okay, good. All right, guys. Well, have a good weekend, and I'll see some of you on Tuesday.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay,
And I'll email
bye.
you, Brian, my flyer.
Okay, thank you. I
Toodaloo.
need it. Bye-bye.